Good morning, students. I am Professor M.A. Hippargi. So today we'll start with the module number 2, second bit, that is Computer Manufacturing Planning and Control System, popularly known as a CAPP. Now, first of all, we'll try to understand what do you mean by process planning. See, process planning is concerned with the preparation of route sheet that list the sequence of operation and work centers required to produce the products and its components. So what do you mean by process planning? Suppose if you are having one factory, and in that factory you are going to be produce one component. Let us consider the nut and bolt, right? So for the nut and bolt, what are the sequence of operations has to be done? Whether the plane turning is done, step turning is done, thread cutting is done, chamfering is to be done, knurling is to be done, right? These are the sequence of operation. Now to do this, which work centers you have required? Whether you need the traditional machines like a lathe machine, milling machine, drilling machine, or you need some CNC machines, VMC machines. So process planning is that it is the preparation of a route sheet, and that route sheet consisting of what are the sequence of operation has to be done to produce the component, and what are the important work centers that are required to produce that component. Got the idea? This is nothing but the process planning. So process planning is always concerned with the preparation of a route sheet, and that route sheet consisting of the listing of sequence of operation. Sequence of operation in the sense, first turning is to be done, then step turning is to be done, then thread cutting is to be done, then chamfering is to be done, then filleting is to be done. So this is nothing but the sequence of operation. Okay. Then work centers. So whether we to produce that particular nut and bolt, whether we need the traditional work centers like a lathe machine, drilling machine, milling machine, or sometimes we need the VMC machine or CNC machine, HMC machine, like that, right? So the preparation of that route sheet is nothing but the process planning. So remember, whenever any component is going to be produced in a factory, that should have a process planning. Got the idea? That is nothing but the process planning. Now, the route sheet include, what exactly the route sheet include of? Okay, the very first one point is all operation to be performed on a work part listed in the order which they should perform. Whatever I have told in the last slide. So if you are producing the nut and bolt, let us consider in your factory you are producing a nut and bolt. So for production of that particular nut and bolt, what are the operations are going to be performed? Turning, plane turning, step turning, thread cutting, knurling, chamfering operation, filleting operation. So they have to be listed in a order. They have to be listed in a order according to you are going to be performed on a product. Second point, a brief description of each operation indicating the processing to be carried out with the reference to the dimension and tolerance. Now number of sequence of operation you have listed. Now that particular operations are going to be listed with their dimensions. So how much, for how much length the threading is going to be done, for how much length the step turning is going to be done, and what are the tolerances, upper limit and lower limit. The tolerances are given to each and every operation. That has to be listed in the, it is said in the point number 2. Point number 3, specific machine on which the work has to be done. Now once the sequence of operation has been done, dimension and tolerance has been set, now the next step is nothing but to select the machine. To select the machine, whether we need the traditional machine or whether we should go for the higher version machines like a CNC, VMC or a HMC. Okay. The third point in the route sheet is specific machine on which the work has to be done. Now fourth point, any special tooling such as a die molds, cutting tool, jigs and fixtures. So in sometimes apart from the traditional machine, to do that particular work we need some special tools. That special tools may be jigs and fixtures to hold the work material, or sometimes the die molds or cutting tools. So any other tooling is required to perform that particular component is going to be specified. That is the fourth point. Now coming to the limitation of traditional process planning. Now there are in earlier the process planning is done in the traditional way, right? the traditional process planning has got some limitations that we are going to be discuss here. The very first one is the tied to personal experience. So whenever you are dealing with the traditional process planning, so the person who is going to be do the process planning according to their knowledge, it is going to be limited. It is going to be limited. So he restrict his knowledge for the particular span. So that is nothing but the tied to personal experience. Second point is knowledge of planner of production facilities, equipment, their capabilities, process and tooling. This result in inconsistent planning. So when traditional process planning has to be done, the person who is going to be work on that process planning, so he is only the person who is responsible for the creating the traditional process planning. So he may has the limited knowledge of a production facilities, choosing the equipment, other capabilities or process and tooling, selection of a process and tooling. So a single person doesn't have too much knowledge. Therefore, the traditional process in the traditional process planning, this going to be happen, and this results in inconsistent planning. This is the another one drawback of a traditional process planning. Third is manual process planning is sometimes time consuming and slow. Of course, when the person is going to be work on a traditional process planning, the time taken for this is a long one, and it is a very slow process when it is concerned with the traditional process planning. Fourth point is slow in responding to the product design and production. Whenever if you want to change any design instantly, it is very difficult with the traditional process planning. Got the idea? Whenever if you want to change any product design in the product being manufactured, it is very difficult to change over in the traditional process planning. So these are the some important disadvantages of a traditional process planning. Now coming to the computer aided process planning. So last bit we have discussed the traditional process planning and what are the limitations of traditional process planning. Now we will go for the computer aided process planning. The term itself indicates that the process planning has been done with the aid of a computer. The process planning has been done with the aid of a computer, means with the help of a computer. The computer plays very important role to produce this process planning. That's why it is popularly known as a CAPP, computer aided process planning. Now what are the benefits of CAPP? We will discuss one by one. The very first one is process rationalization and standardization. See, the standard plans leads to lower manufacturing cost and higher product quality. Once you use the CAPP and the process plan which are going to be made with the CAPP, that are in a standard quality. If the standard quality plans are made, definitely there is a manufacturing lead time is low and the manufacturing cost is also low. Once the manufacturing cost is low, definitely there is a higher production quality. Quality of product is going to be increased, cost is going to be decreased, quantity is going to be increased. That is the process rationalization and standardization. With the help of a CAPP, the process plan which are going to be developed, that are in a standard nature. The standard plans always helpful for reducing the manufacturing cost as well as increasing the production quality. This is the first benefit. Second one, increased productivity of process planner. Increased productivity of process planner. See, availability of standard process plans in the data file permit more work to be done by the process planner. So whenever the planner is dealing with the standard process plan which are going to be stored in a computer, so these allows to more work to be done by the process planner. Means these standard process plans are prepared by the planner and it is stored into a computer, and whenever it is required, it is taken from the computer for the processing. So if the standard process plans are readily available, so the this planner is going to be permit more work on the more work to be done on the this processor to make the any changeover required. In the last case I have told about the in the traditional it is not possible to make the any changes in the design, but here the design changes may be done according to the requirement. That is the second point. Third one is a reduced lead time for process planning. Process planner can provide route sheet in a shorter lead time compared to the manual preparation. So here with the CAPP, the planner can provide a route sheet in a shorter lead time compared to manual preparation. In the manual preparation, the planner has to make the list of sequence of operation, work centers, different tooling, so that consume the maximum time. But in the CAPP, as we are using the computer to list out all these things, the lead time is very shorter as compared to the manual one. Then fourth one, improved legibility. See, computer prepared route sheet are neater, easier to read than manually prepared route sheet. Of course, once you are prepared the route sheet with the computer, definitely they are very neat in nature, they are very easy to read as compared to the manual prepared route sheet, because in the manual prepared route sheet it is make ready by the person, and the person maybe get some problem during this, and it may be tough to read other people. But whatever the route sheet prepared by the computer, these are very neat in nature, and these can be easily read by the anyone, so that anyone can be work on the process planning with the help of a CAPP. Incorporation of other application programs. The CAPP program can be interfaced with other application programs such as a cost estimation and work standards. So CAPP not only useful for process planning, it is also linked with the programs such as a estimation and work standards. Cost estimation can be done with the help of a CAPP, work standards can be measured with the help of a CAPP. So in incorporation of other application programs, in the sense the CAPP not only used for the process planning, preparation of process planning, it is also effectively used for the programs such as a cost estimation and work standards. Now, approaches of CAPP. Mainly there are two types of approaches are there. One is known as a retrieval CAPP, second one is known as a generative CAPP. Okay, the combination of these two process, that is generative CAPP, that is semi-generative CAPP. So most oftenly this retrieval CAPP and generative CAPP are going to be asked. We will discuss one by one. So in the video question paper, either the retrieval CAPP is asked or generative CAPP is going to be asked. Now we will start with the retrieval CAPP system. See, in the retrieval CAPP system, it is also known as a variant CAPP system, is based on the principle of group technology and part classification and coding. Actually, what is going to be done in a retrieval CAPP system is that, so it is going to be work on the principle of group technology. Group technology in the sense, whenever if you consider any factory in which the different parts are going to be manufactured, initially, if with the use of this retrieval CAPP system, the standard process plans are going to be made. These standard process plans are going to be stored into a computer, that is known as a group technology family. That is a part family for group technology. Standard process plans are going to be stored into a computer. That is here I will explain with this flow diagram, so that you come to know that what exactly means by the retrieval CAPP. Derive GT code for a part. So group technology code. So initially the person who is going to be handle this CAPP system with the retrieval CAPP, he used to make the standard process plans. And those standard process plans are coded with some number. Let us consider if you are producing the engine, right? Engine has got the number of components. Each number of component for the standard process plan is going to be made, and that standard process plans are coded with some number. For example, in the engine we are having 100 components, right? So for 100 component, first component is 01, second component is 02. So number of components are coded with the same some number, and that are concerned with the group, that is nothing but the group technology, and those are going to be stored into a computer. Then search part family file for GT code number. Now all the standard process plans are going to be stored into a computer, and whenever you are required to perform or produce any component, the operator or a planner is going to be search that particular part family file into the GT code number. Let us consider I wanted to produce engine block. Now the engine block GT code is let us consider G26. Now that particular G26 is going to be searched in the part family, because already we have made the standard process plans of all the components into that computer. Now when the particular component is going to be manufactured, for that particular component the searching of that part family file is going to be searched. Then retrieve standard process plan. So retrieve standard process plan. Before that, part family file, that is a computer, select a coding system and form part families. Retrieve standard process plan. So engine block you are going to be manufacture. For that particular engine block, the process plan is already stored into a computer. Just you are going to be retrieve that standard process plan. Now if the standard process plan is exactly as per the requirement of our requirement, then it is going to be processed. Otherwise, if any changes has to made, that is done with here edit existing plan or write new plan. Edit existing plan or write new plan. Whether the derived standard process plan is similar to that of the required plan, our required plan. If it is there, then go ahead with the same standard process plan. Otherwise, if any modification has to be done, we can edit the existing plan, or if it is totally it is a change one is there, then you have to go for the write new plan. Okay, then standard process plan again here. So once the process plan is standard process plan, either it is edited or it has been taken a new plan, then process plan formatter. So once the standard process plan is selected, so the required root sheet is going to be made. That required root sheet is it is consisting of a number of sequence of operation and number of work centers required, and then a number of other additional toolings are required. So in this way the retrieval CAPP going to be work. Okay, once again I will explain you. Retrieval CAPP system is that it always works on a group technology and part classification and coding system. So I'll give the best example of, let us consider you are having one company in which the engine is going to be manufactured, and engine is having the 100 different components. Each component has got its own code, and that is stored into a computer. For each component, the standard process plans are going to be made. So these standard process plans are stored into a computer. So whenever you are required by the any one component is going to be manufactured, that component process plan or that standard process plan is going to be retrieved from this group technology. If any changes has to be made, you can make changes with that standard process plan. If that standard process plan is completely different, then you have to make a new plan for the standard process, and that is going to be stored into a computer. So once you have selected the standard process plan for that particular component which is going to be manufactured, then the formatter, process plan formatter, is going to be done with the help of a root sheet. Let us consider I am going to be interested in the production of a engine block. Now engine block standard process plan is there or not, we are going to be check. If it is there, then take into consideration. If some modification has to be done, it is possible to make some modification. Otherwise, if it is completely different, then you should go for the new plan has to be right, and that new plan is going to be stored into a computer. And once the standard process plan is selected, then go for the root sheet. I have already told what is the root sheet. Root sheet is consisting of number of sequence of operations to perform on the work part to convert into a raw material into final product, and to perform these operations, which work centers are going to be required. Lathe machines are required, milling machines are required, drilling machines are required, or sometimes it is CNC machines are going to be required. So that once the route sheet is going to be done, then the component process plan is made, then actual production is going to be start. Got the idea? This is the retrieval CAPP. The term itself indicates retrieval. We are taking, we are receiving, or we are retrieving that standard process plans which are already stored into a computer. Okay, I hope it is clear. Retrieval CAPP. If it is asked many times, this question is asked in the examination. If it is asked, you draw this flow diagram and try to write on your own words. First, for it works on a group technology, part classification and coding system. The components which are, the number of components are going to be write root standard process plans, and each standard process plans are coded with different numbers, and that are stored into a computer. Whenever the particular component is going to be manufactured, that has to be retrieved from the standard process plan. If any changes has to be done, it is possible to make the changes. Otherwise, if the plan is completely changed, then you have to write the new plan. Once the standard process plan has been taken from the group technology, then the sequence of operation, number of work centers, then other toolings are required, that has to be selected, and the work is going to be done, started, or the production has going to be started. This is the way of first approach known as a retrieval type of a computer aided process planning system. Okay, then next one is a generative type of a CAPP, generative type of a computer aided process planning. See, generative CAPP systems these are the more advanced systems. These are the more advanced system. It consisting of some expert systems. The expert systems are nothing but it consisting of several computer programs that are capable of solving the complex problems. In the generative CAPP, it consisting of a expert system, and these expert systems comprises or included of several computer programs that can be capable of solving the complex problems. Hence, these generative CAPP is usually automated system. It is completely fully automated system as compared to the retrieval CAPP. This generative CAPP is a complete automated system that generates a process route on its own. In the last case, the person is going to be generate the route sheet with the help of aid of a computer. But here, the generative CAPP itself, it creates the route sheet. Only the thing is that you have to supply the CAD model, computer aided design model. Let us consider the engine block is you are going to be do the production of a engine block. Now with the generative CAPP, what you have to do, you have to create the CAD model of that particular engine block. Once you create the CAD model of a engine block, automatically with the help of a expert system, this generative CAPP itself make the route sheet. It itself make the list of a sequence of operation. It itself that take the decision of for this which machines are going to be required and what are the additional toolings are required. It is done with automatically with the help of this expert system. Got the idea? What is the difference between the generative CAPP and the retrieval CAPP? In the retrieval CAPP, the planner has to make the route sheet. Let's say you take the same example, engine block. You are producing engine block. In the retrieval CAPP, the planner has to select the sequence of operation. He has to select the number of work center, and he has to select whether the additional toolings are required or not. But in the generative CAPP, it is a more advanced than that retrieval CAPP, and it involves the expert system. These expert systems are nothing but these are including the some important computer programs that are designed to solve the complex problems. So that the generative CAPP itself creates the route card on its own whenever the CAD model of that particular component is going to be transferred. Okay. So in this generative CAPP, there are three important components are there. Okay, the very first component is creation of knowledge base. Creation of knowledge base. This is the primary requirement for an expert system to function. In the complete technical knowledge of manufacturing and logic development by expert human planners is coded and loaded into a computer. This forms the knowledge base in the generative CAPP system. See, generative CAPP system consisting of three components. The first component is the creation of knowledge base. Now, how this CAPP makes the root sheet on its own? The question maybe arises. How the generative CAPP makes the root sheet on its own? It is done with the help of this knowledge base. Now, the planner has to create the knowledge base. He has to write the program. He has to write the technical knowledge of manufacturing. He has to develop the logic team or logic development or developed. So these are done with the help of this expert human planners, and these are coded and it is stored into a computer. Got the idea? How the knowledge base is created? The knowledge base is created with the help of a expert system. This is the primemost requirement of a expert system to make the knowledge base, to set the knowledge base. The first component of a generative CAPP system is the creation of knowledge base. So the complete technical knowledge of manufacturing and logic development by this expert team or a human planners, it is going to be coded and it is stored into a computer. And this is nothing but the creation of a knowledge base. Once the creation of knowledge base, that is the different coded and this logic developed is going to be stored into a computer. The next step is computer compatible part description and CAD model. So for CAPP system to apply its knowledge base to the point for which the root sheet can be developed, it needs the compatible description information of a part. This is generally done by creating CAD model. Now, once the knowledge base has been made, the next step is creating the CAD model. Creating the CAD model, and that creation of CAD model is depend upon the type of component is going to be produced. Let us consider engine block is going to be produced. That engine block CAD model has going to be done. That is computer compatible CAD part description and CAD model. Whatever the description is required for that particular CAD model, it is done. That is part geometry, it may be a dimension, and other details are going to be given with the CAD model. Once the second point has been done, then third one is known as the interference engine. Interference engine is nothing but it is the system to apply the coded knowledge base to the descriptive CAD model. Once we are created the knowledge base, and other hand we are creating the CAD model. Now the third step is combining these two. We are going to be combined the knowledge base with the created CAD model, and automatically the root sheet according to the CAD model and the knowledge base, the reference engine will create the root sheet. Particular root sheet is going to be created. And what I have told about the root sheet is nothing but it is consisting of a list of sequence of operation to produce the component, number of work center required for the machining operation, other tooling which are necessary for this. So these are going to be done with the help of a interference engine. Interference engine is the third component of a generative CAPP system, which add the knowledge base with the computer CAD model. That is a compatible part description CAD model. So once the created CAD model and the knowledge database has been added, automatically with the help of a reference engine, the root sheet or a root card is going to be created, and according to this the component is going to be produced. I hope this generative CAPP and another one is retrieval CAPP, these are very familiar to you people. Please go through these two. Definitely one question is going to be asked with this retrieval or a generative CAPP. Okay. Thank you.